Okay. Good evening, friends. Yeah. 1 second. Yes. Good evening, friends, and a very, very warm welcome once again on behalf of Navemarg Foundation. I am indeed very, very happy to start this program on time. We have just kept 5 minutes this for people to join in. So we have already some almost 12 participants on our YouTube channel, as well as 9 participants here, and many will be joining a little later. But to keep up with the time, we are actually starting this big program. So on behalf of Navemarg Foundation, I would like to welcome each and every one of you for this evening's great celebration as well as learning program. In fact, a especially warm welcome to Dr. LOPAMURDA Das Roy, who was actually introduced to me by Miss Magali Gracious, one of our super young achievers who has been investing with us. And she and her mother suggested that we get in touch with Dr. LOPAMUDRA. So from the day I was introduced, it was really a nice interaction. And I'm quite sure most of you will be really enjoying this program today. In fact, today's day, that is 15th of December, I should say like it's a red letter day for the Navemarg Foundation. In fact, we have achieved a lot of milestones today, for which I will actually like to share some of the events that has happened today from the morning time, which we are very, very lucky that we have managed to do this. So these are some of the achievements which has happened today. That is on this very auspicious day. The first thing that we want to celebrate is basically that as far as our AUM is concerned, that is assets under management is concerned, today we have managed to achieve yet another big milestone. That is today our AUM, that is asset under management, has 200 crores level. In the sense, we are now managing a portfolio of more than 200 crores of all our esteemed clients who have put their full trust and faith on us. So crossing this milestone on this auspicious occasion is really an achievement. In fact, we celebrated this in the morning with some of the very important friends of ours, the college students, that is this FLIP students, who were there with us today this afternoon in Panjim to celebrate the 200 crores with us. These are all students from colleges in the age group of 18 to 21 years who have actually learned about financial literacy and have decided to be financially disciplined. We had a small program for them wherein we had a small engagement this afternoon in Panjim and showed them how the power of compounding can actually make a big difference to their lives. And most of them were very happy. They even celebrated in our Marga office the cutting of the 200 crore cake. So this was celebrated in the morning. And let me share with you some of the video testimonials, which I can actually share now, of some of the students who have actually decided to grow financially disciplined. This is in Konkani language, so Dr. Lopo cannot understand it.
म्युच्युअल फंड्स हितून इन्वेस्ट करता जाल्यार बरें तुमचे लायफान बरें आसता हे सगळें आनी इन्वेस्टमेंट करपाक शिका म्हणून सांगलें. बट म्हाका केन्ना अशें कोण गावोंक ना की इनवेस्टमेंट कशें करप. म्हाका गायड करपाक कोण नासलेलो. जेन्ना म्हाका हांव फर्स्ट इयराक पावलो तेन्ना एक दीस अशें टिचरीन सांगलें की कोण तरी तुमकां लेक्चर घेवपाक येता म्हणून. सो आमकां सारकें कांय सांगूंक ना. सो मागीर डॉक्टर सेल्स येयलो. आमकां सांगलें सगलें की म्युच्युअल फंड्स अशें अशें सगळें अशें इनवेस्टमेंट करपाचें सगळें आमकां क्लियरी एक्सप्लेन केलें. हांवें सारकें आयकलें तें. मागीर डॉक्टर सेल्सान एक ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी म्हणून दिली की इफ तुमकां इनवेस्ट करूंक जाय जाल्यार घ्या. बिकॉज म्हाका पयलींच्यानूच दिसतालें कित्याक हांव धाकटो आसतनाच्यान हांव सेवींग करपाक शिकलेलो. मम्मा म्हाका खंयसर 10 रुपया दिताली जाल्यार ते 5 रुपया म्हाका काडून बॅगान तशेंच दवरतालो केन्ना गरज पडली जाल्यार. आनी अशें करता करता हांव लायक 11-12 पावलो तेन्ना हांव डेली 100 रुपया म्हाजे खर्च करूचे साणून सेवींग करपाक शिकलो. बट ते खंय इनवेस्ट करूं हें म्हाका खबर नासलें. सरान म्हाका
1 second.
सेल्स गावलो म्हाका सगळें जाल्यार आयज हांव म्हाजें सगळें काम करून सुद्दां हांव बिजनस स्टार्ट करून डेली SIP 250ची करता हांव. सो म्हाका इतकेंच म्हणूंक जाय डॉक्टर सेल्सूक खूब थँक्यू कित्याक तो आयज म्हाका गावलो आनी म्हाजी सगळें इम्प्रुवमेंट आनी इनवेस्टमेंट कशें करपाचें म्हाका कळ्ळें. थँक्यू सर. माय नांव म्हणजे म्हाका सरान सांगलें की म्युच्युअल फंड्स हितून इनवेस्ट करता जाल्यार बरें तुमचें लायफान सुद्दां बरें आसता हें सगळें.
Good evening,
आनी
friends.
इनवेस्टमेंट
My
करपाक
name is
शिकता
Saisha
म्हणून
Navemarg,
सांगलें.
and I'm currently doing my
बट
BSc from
म्हाका केन्ना
Government
अशें
College,
कोण
Sangareddy.
गावोंक ना
Today,
इनवेस्टमेंट कशें
15th
करप. म्हाका
December
गायड करपाक कोण
2020, I've
नासलेलो.
attended this session
जेन्ना
by
म्हाका
Navemarg
हांव
Foundation,
फर्स्ट इयराक पावलो
which
तेन्ना
was
एक
on
दीस अशें टिचरीन
One
सांगलें की कोण
second,
तरी
just hold
तुमकां
on.
लेक्चर घेवपाक येता
There
म्हणून.
is one small
सो
confusion.
आमकां सारकें कांय सांगूंक
I
ना.
just
सो
stop
मागीर
sharing this.
इनवेस्ट करूंक जाय जाल्यार घ्या. बिकॉज
Okay. So now the basic thing that what we did today afternoon was basically having a testimonials from all these college students, wherein they explained how they would like to be financially disciplined and be an asset to their parents by the time they reach the age of 25. So this was one of another great achievements what we have done. And another big thing what we have achieved today, and I'm sure it's going to be achieved, it's almost reaching there, is that on our YouTube channel, which we started exactly during the lockdown, that was in the month of March, today we can say that we are about to cross the 1,000 subscriber base, wherein 1,000 subscribers are actually watching the videos on our YouTube channel. So we are actually falling short by just another 3. In fact, we are falling, I mean, it's now 997. And I'm sure after this program, it will definitely cross that 1,000 mark. So that is another milestone which we are expecting to cross now during this evening's program. So if any of you all have still not subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to our channel and even click on the bell icon so that you get your notifications coming regularly. So with these two, and today the third one is that our Health is Wealth series, which we had started last financial year, that is in the last financial year, is again beginning from now with the first talk after 1 year. During this lockdown, we just did one on diabetes. So this is going to be our second program on the medical side. We are into finance, but we are also handling the medical side because fortunately, in my case, being a doctor by profession, that is a dentist by profession, naturally, finance and medicine go side by side. And in fact, both are related to the heart in the sense you have to be strong, financially strong as well as healthy if you want to live a happy life. So being with both these fields together, this was like another privilege which I got of getting introduced to Dr. LOPAMURDA. And the way she had explained to me regarding her mission, I went to the website and saw what exactly is the mission as far as her foundation is concerned. And I'm very, very happy that today she has given her time, even though now over there in the US, it's in the morning. I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Here it is 7 o'clock in the evening. So we are exactly like with a 12 hours gap or 13 hours gap, I should say. And to get this program started and to help all our viewers understand the thing better, I would like to give a small introduction. Actually, her introduction goes into pages, but I just highlight some of the key points which Dr. Lopamudra has got her credentials. And with that credentials, we feel that this program is really worthwhile. In the sense, it really adds value to this program because her experience in this field for the last 20 years in the field of oncology and her dedication for and the passion for helping people understand the pain. Because what has happened is during her childhood, she has seen this pain go through some in one of her friend's parents. So with that pain that she has seen, she said that yes, I have to do something for the society. And the best way to do something for the society is basically creating an awareness, because even if you save one life, it is like actually saving one family. And that is what is the mission behind this. Like even today, if you get one idea and you're able to learn something which helps you in detecting cancer early, because even today I was speaking to one of our cancer patients who is in Mumbai. His treatment is still not completed, but after he comes back, he will definitely want to share his experiences. That is Mr. Bosco Rodriguez. He will also be joining after some time. He might join today also because he is there in Bombay, but he should be undergoing this treatment very safely, because she is already actually they have already done some tests, and most probably he might not even have to go in for any surgeries and all, because what they found is that it was detected very, very early. So early detection can help a lot, not only as far as your cost is concerned, not as far as pain is concerned, but even the treatment part of it. So today, even if we get one idea, that idea can change the life of many people. So with the experience that Dr. Lopamudra has the experience of this 20 years, and that also in different places in India, working at different places like in Assam, then Bangalore, and now of course in the US, and doing a research in this, I can give you a guarantee that from today's session, you'll definitely learn something different for today. So not to waste much of your time, I would not like to give the full introduction by all the words. I mean, if you see the degrees, there are quite a many degrees that she has, but we would like to actually listen more from you, from your heart, what exactly you would like to share with all our clients. Because as of now, the attendance, if I tell you now, we have increased on the YouTube channel, there are quite a few, and plus we have now on our Zoom channel about 16 of us participating in it, and still many should be joining very soon. So over to you, Dr. Lopamudra. It's your floor now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Kelso. And I'm so honored and humbled to be here. And I should give a big shout out to Magali Gracious for the kind introduction with Dr. Kelso. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here today with each of you. And thank you, audience. Thank you to each participant. For me, the audience is the most the most important people, because without you I can't do it. And the reason why I'm here is this shouldn't be a session restricted just for today. You all need to carry it forward, because that's the purpose. Together we can really help save lives. And saying that, I would like to take you to my journey a little bit, as Dr. Kelso had mentioned, like what impacted me the most. So I was 12-year-old and I was in Guwahati, Assam. And growing up in a family of physicians, my father was a pediatrician, my grandfather was also a physician doctor. So I never realized that, there is a taboo existing outside my four walls of my house. So when I went for my friend's mom, she died, passed away and I was just 12-year-old, and this was in Guwahati, Assam, as I said. So when I went there, even to utter the word cancer, it was a big taboo. So when I asked, like her friend only, like how did she die, what kind of cancer, they didn't want to tell me. And then after like being very persistent, they said breast. I said breast cancer. They are like, shh, I'm not supposed to talk about it. So that really affected me, because this is the respect we are giving to a mother. We just lost her, to a sister, to a wife. We lost her and we don't even discuss the disease that cost her life. So this remained in me, and I would say like every household, especially in Northeast India, as I started to grow up, it was afflicted with cancer, and it would be the death sentence. So I always wanted to do more with the cancer scenario, and that's how I kind of like devoted my life to the research part. But then while doing that, like this was like in 2017 2016 or 15, yeah, 2015, I was in Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore for a talk, and I would meet the oncologist who would tell me that how patients would still reach so late It is always the late detection with breast cancer. And what I felt was that we are always talking about big things, right? We are talking about mammogram machine. We are talking about the MRI, all these different high-end diagnostic machines. But we are forgetting something very basic, which is the taboo. We are not even discussing, because the women, they are reaching late to the doctor because they don't even recognize that the signs and symptoms of breast cancer. The problem is because we do not discuss about it. And that's when in 2017 I decided that I will give up my career and I will do this, like Start Breast Cancer, have full pro bono and voluntary, so that I can serve the community, help bridge the gap between the developed and the developing world. And as Dr. Kelso said, what I believe is that even if we can save one life, we are saving a family. So that's the inception of Breast Cancer Hub. I'm saying I would like to start the presentation by with a tribute to our Breast Cancer Hub advocates, and I'm so proud of her. They are the stars. And we lost them, but I always told their families, and I told them, like I told Manjeet Kaur, like we will never let your legacy fail, because that is because they are the real heroes. They are the real stars of BCH. And I would like to just share the story of Lotika Das. Her brother-in-law is my friend from Charlotte, and he was my friend from Guwahati actually, and now he also lives in Charlotte. So when Lotika Das's reports, it was sent to me in 2018 January, the cancer had already spread to different parts of the body. That means with breast cancer, what happens is that there are many stages of cancer, all type of cancer. With breast cancer, it starts with stage 0, and stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Stage 4 means when the tumor from the breast, it has actually traveled to the distant organs, so to the bones, to the liver. And when it actually reaches stage 4, which we call as metastatic breast cancer, it's very difficult to cure the cancer, and we really lose the women or men that I'm going to talk about. So Mrs. Lotika Das, in her case, when she was an educated woman, and when her brother-in-law went to meet her, and he asked, like, what happened? What we understood was that what she said was she did not know. She did not know that a painless or painful lump in the breast could be cancer. So what I felt was that it's not only the taboo, it's the ignorance. The ignorance exists in our community, and whose responsibility is it? It is our responsibility to translate the information, because the small information could have helped save the woman Latika Das's life. And just imagine, she had such small kids. And the same story goes with Manjeet Kaur in Mumbai. So when I did the session in 2018 August, Manjeet comes to the stage and she takes the mic from me and she tells everyone over there that till today I did not even tell my friends, my best friends, that I'm having metastatic breast cancer. But today I will not be shy anymore. And that was my proudest moment. And Manjeet gave the interview. You should go to our website where it has the advocate stories, and I have her interview. Such an amazing woman. In the same way, Janaki Chibukula, she was also in Hyderabad, very educated, but detected late. So what I'm trying to say is, irrespective of socioeconomic condition, this is needed. And when I started Breast Cancer Hub, a lot of times I was ridiculed too. I was told that, oh, Lopa, you don't have to come to the towns or the cities of India. It's needed in the villages. I said, that's not true. And that's why these are the stories. And everyone in India needs to understand this is high time we break the taboo and we discuss, we speak about. Now, the scenario is, I just want to bring it up that we shouldn't be blaming only, we shouldn't be only concerned, of course, like in India, the statistics is that the survival rate is significantly lower compared to the USA, compared to the developed world. But even in the USA, we are seeing metastatic breast cancer, and more often now, worldwide, we are seeing also in the younger women. So initially, our perception was that, okay, older women will be afflicted with breast cancer. That's why this session is very important, because from the younger age also, we really need to be very proactive, because breast cancer is not restricted to older women and younger women. And I will discuss like why maybe these are the reasons why younger women are getting affected with breast cancer, and very aggressive type of breast cancer. Now, I want to switch gear a little bit also and talk like we always, because as I said, we always ignore something or the other. With breast cancer, whenever whoever like Magali is our ambassador, and she knows that how much I push towards, having some blue in the pink with breast cancer. And that's why you see the logo here. I made sure that I have a blue strand in the four ribbons that's coming together as we work together as one family. Now, with men, the scenario is worse than women. So the reason why we always ignore is that with women, the frequency, the statistics is that 1 out of 8 women can get breast cancer in their lifetime. But with the men, it is 1 out of 883. So that means that it is not as common. But how can we ignore this man? This one man can be a father or a brother, or a son of the family. So just imagine Brett Miller. He is a survivor with breast cancer. Brett felt the lump at the age of 18, so young. And he's the founder of Male Breast Cancer Coalition, and we collaborate with the MBCC all the time. Now, here you see this picture, the group of men, they all are either breast cancer patients or survivors. So, when I went for the conference last year in Florida, in Orlando, so here you see this man, Sam Raviera. So, he was at the army. So what he told me was that he joined the army at the age of 17. He felt a lump in the breast. He went to the army doctor. They did a mammogram. So mammogram is the screening of the breast, like how we do the breast screening. So that is mammogram, and that is an x-ray. So it's a low dose ionizing radiation x-ray of the breast is the mammogram. So he did a mammogram. It was detected as breast cancer. Then his breast had to be removed, which we call as mastectomy. So then he had a scar on the breast. So what the scenario was that he got married 3 times, and his first two wives, when they passed away, one of the wives passed away from breast cancer. Still, he did not tell his wife that he had breast cancer. What he said was a bullet struck him and he had a scar. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that with the men, the scenario is worse than women. They feel it's a woman's disease and they are more shy to talk about it. And Sam now he is very like speaking up. He's a great advocate with male breast cancer because now he has a support group. So that's the convincing. That's how the strength of a support group can create. Now coming back to the scenario with men, one of the men told me that Lopa, my situation was even my own kids, my own children, they were bullying me. They were teasing me because they told me, and this is in the US, they told me that they didn't want to tell their friends that my dad has breast cancer because my friends would make fun of me. And I couldn't hear, the saddest story than this. So here, another story I want to talk about is of Marlene Washburn, and she is Patricia Marlene's wife, as you see here, and you see Marlene's picture on the card. So Marlene was a principal in a school in the US, and he was fighting for breast cancer for his daughter. But he did not know that he was also having breast cancer. So when detected, it was already stage 4, which is metastatic breast cancer, and we lost him in a duration of 5 months. So what Patricia does is she has Marlene's picture on the card, and she travels all across US so that men get, they get breast cancer too. And when I travel to India intensively in different cities and the villages, in India, like 99% of the men, till I go and tell them, they were not aware. And one situation, I would say, I think most of the time oncologists in India tell me that men always detected late and we lose them because the awareness is so low. But I can say proudly that in Chennai, when I did a session, it was so interesting. Like after my session was done, one man comes up to me in a different room and he tells me, "Can you just check my breast?" And he had a tight lump, like a hard, like a marble under his nipple. And you know why he came for the session? Because he came for his sister. And his sister was having breast cancer at that time. And he had no idea that he had the lump all throughout, but it didn't even strike him. And we saved his life. In a similar way, in a village, we saved another man. I think these are the two cases, I think, for the first time, because whenever I hear the oncologist in India, they always say that men come at the metastatic stage. But this is the awareness which is very much needed. And I plead that whenever we think of breast cancer in women, we also need to think of breast cancer in men. So, saying that, I would like to come to the statistics because it's very important that we understand that why the need, because it is so common. 1 out of 8 women in the US, it is known that they will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. In India, the statistics still now says 1 out of 13. But what happens is that whenever I'm trying to look up the publications about India breast cancer, I'm seeing that 60% survival, 50% or the relapses like like in the cases like pretty high. But then I do not, whenever I'm going to different parts of India villages, I always hear that, okay, my mom died of breast cancer, my sister died of breast cancer. Where is that data represented? So that's where I'm trying to tap in the epidemiological research study, because I want to bring the true scenario, because until and unless we present the truth, we will not be taken seriously about the situation. Even in the US, we are expecting 42,170 women to lose their lives in 2020. So, but then definitely compared to the developed countries, the developing countries, the death rate is significantly higher. So, what we deducted was that because of taboo and ignorance, leading to late stage detection, and also with the lack of research from different repositories. So, what we see is the presentation from few of the hospitals, the data is presented. So, that's where we are trying to tap in. Now, why the need? Because when breast cancer is a type of cancer when detected early and treated correctly. So I really want to emphasize on this. Treated correctly is almost incompletely curable. So the treatment needs to be very proper and correctly done. And that's where, whenever, if you know anyone detected with breast cancer, it's very important, the counseling, the support group, we learn from each other. And I'm always there to guide in every possible ways, and anyone can reach out to me for sure. Now, what are the screening methods for breast cancer? The first thing is that mammogram, which is the low dose X-ray of the breast. Now, the what is the routine screening? So usually what happens is that I did a lot of survey in India, and what I found is that women are going to the doctor. So when I, for example, if I were actually in Goa right now in my in-person sessions, I would have asked that, okay, how many of you are the age of 40? Please raise your hand. And if you're 40, how many of you have gone for screening mammogram? That not the diagnostic mammogram. Women mostly go in India, like only 1% of my data shows that women are going for the screening mammogram. So we prefer to, spend money on other things, but not for the screening purpose. Because for every woman, the health is a last priority. We are so busy balancing family and life and kids, we forget that our own health needs to be a priority too. So what is the method? After the age of 40, we really need to go and do a screening mammogram, so that if any small lump is also detected, in that means the stage 0, it's very easy to treat. We just have to take out the tumor from the breast. We don't even need to go for, like chemotherapy, radiation. It's like the treatment aggressiveness. It like builds up as we progress with the stage. So the protocol is that for women between 40 and 44, they have the option to start the screening with a mammogram every year. Now, women 45 to 54, actually, they should get mammograms every year. And 55 and older can switch mammogram every other year. But what happens to the younger women? What happens to others? In the US, the what we do is that our insurance, it covers our physical checkup every year. Nothing is wrong in my breast. And the male doctors are saying that it's a huge stigma, cultural stigma, that we cannot do a breast exam until and unless they come for an issue in the breast. So I understood, we cannot, but we have to give a solution. And that's where I'm going to say what solution we have brought for all the women from the age of 17 to 18. But before tapping into the solution, I also did go and penetrate into various sectors in India, and I tried to interview, because these interviews are all posted. And most of the time here, what you see is all the women detected as stage 3 or stage 4 is Rabha Devi from Guwahati. Now, stage 3 and all these women are survivors. So what I want to say is that till stage 3, we have survivors in our forum, in our support group. The interviews are posted. So cancer, and you should hear, listen to the interviews which I take in the local languages. The reason is that, for example, if someone is reaching out to me from Bangalore, and he would say, like, my mother just got detected with breast cancer, but she doesn't want to do the treatment because her friends have said that her hair is going to fall, or anyways, this is the end of life. So what I do is I'm going to send her the interview that I have done in Kannada, I mean, with, of course, a translator. And then he comes back and says, now my mother heard the interview in Kannada because she doesn't understand English. So she understood that, okay, listening to someone who is totally cured and telling me that in the interview that she is cured and it's not the end of life and she's a survivor for 11 years, 12 years and is going on. And that's why his mother wants to do the treatment. So that is the strength of our support system, because what I cannot do as a scientist, what oncologists cannot do, what someone who can do are the real survivors who have lived this life. So that is the power. But unfortunately, what I see is that most of the time, whenever I'm going for interviews, it's mostly stage 3C. So with stage 3, the sub stages are A, B, C. So, for example, when I asked here, Miss Titu, she's from India. So what she said was she felt the lump, but then she opted for homeopathy. So, see, I am totally not against. I'm in favor of homeopathy. I'm in favor of Ayurveda treatment. But what I'm trying to say is that when the cancer progresses, it's very difficult to take care of cancer until and unless we take the tumor out. So it's very important that we do the conventional treatment also, which is the most important thing. And also another thing that resonates and that I get to hear all the time from the oncologists in India is when someone is going through the traditional treatment, conventional chemotherapy, radiation, there's so much of supplemental medications taken in parallel. But unfortunately, we haven't done research yet where to understand the drug-drug interaction, the cross-reactivity going on between the supplemental medication plus the conventional treatment, because we really want the cancer cells to die with the chemotherapy, not to be protected. So it's kind of like, it negates the treatment, and there are a lot of time the relapses are high. So I would request the audience that if someone is going through cancer, please talk to them. And if they're taking any supplements in addition, please ask them to inform the oncologist so that the oncologist is aware about it and he can then, modify or shape or the actual treatment in a direction that will be helping, and it will be complementing each other, not reacting against each other. So another story that I heard was that, for example, this woman here in green sari, she felt the lump, and she's a school teacher, but now she's on stage 4 breast cancer. But the problem with her was that she said, no one in my family has breast cancer. So why will I think of my lump in the breast as breast cancer? And she didn't even go to the doctor for many months until and unless the symptoms were severe. So what I'm trying to say is only 5 to 10% is genetics, is in the family if you have. But rest 90% can happen to anyone. It can happen very randomly. So that's why we cannot be just thinking that family history is very important, and I'll talk about it. But also, any woman, having a lump, they need to be immediately aware, because the moment we detect early, it's much easier for the treatment. Now, this slide, this is a very critical size slide, and I really want you all to understand it. And I'm going to talk in very simple language so that you all are aware. And once you leave the session, you can actually advocate and talk to your doctor about it. So here, she's Dr. Nancy Capello. As I said, the gold standard for breast cancer screening is mammogram. Even in India, when I come, that is what is being done, right? But did you know that mammograms can also miss cancer? And Dr. Nancy Capello is an advocate for that. And she was a very good friend of mine. We lost her last year due to the side effects of all the treatments she was taking, because her story goes like this. And she was the founder of RU Dance, another nonprofit organization. So in 2004, she did her mammogram. It came as negative. So as I said, in US, we go for a physical every year. So Dr. Capello went for her physical, and the doctor did the clinical breast exam, checked her breast. He felt a lump. She went for MRI, which is a diagnostic, screening, and she was detected with stage 3C breast cancer. So stage 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. That means she was right on the threshold of getting to stage 4. She was so upset and mad at the doctor, and she said, like, how did my mammogram miss the tumor? Doctor said, because you have dense breast. So I want to emphasize on the word dense breast. And Indian women, even I have dense breasts, like highly dense breasts. We Indian women, we are susceptible to dense breasts, and 60% of the population we have dense breasts. So what is this dense breast and why mammogram is going to miss the tumor? So I want to show you this particular X-ray. This is the X-ray of the breast. So usually in a regular way, we should be having a type of tissue in the breast, which we call as fatty tissue. So when we have fatty tissue, our X-ray of the breast mammogram looks like this, totally black background. But when we have fibroglandular tissue, which is very common to have for us, which is called dense breast, it appears as white patches like this. So when we have heterogeneous dense breast, it's all scattered like this, and homogeneous is fully dense breast, means our full breast will look white like this. Then why am I concerned about this? Because when we have a tumor or a lump, it will appear as a white dot. So just imagine that when we have dense breast, it's like this is the white background and trying to find the snowflake in the snowstorm, and that's how the tumor gets missed. So if the tumor is right here inside this dense breast, we are going to miss it. If the tumor is here, we are lucky. So what is the alternative, right? So many cases we saved in India after they saw this presentation. So they come up to me and they say, I went, did my mammogram, it came negative, but I can feel my tumor growing. But what do we do? So what is the next option? With the mammogram, so when you do the mammogram, ask your doctor, do I have dense breast? If you have dense breast, you opt for it and say, I need an ultrasound. And ultrasound is so common in India, and so which is the most commonest way of screening for breast cancer now. So in parallel, you can do an ultrasound. So in US now, we are not doing mammogram; we are doing the advanced case, which is 3D mammogram or tomosynthesis. But in India, we are still following the mammogram. So that is the thing I want to tell everyone. That when you are going through mammogram, which mammogram will only let us know if we have dense breast or not. And it helps with the resolution, the structural integrity of the breast tissues we get to know through mammogram. And then if we have dense breast, you speak up and say, I need an ultrasound. Or once you know that you have a dense breast, the next time you go, you can directly go for an ultrasound. So that is a very important, I feel that this slide is so important because this slide has saved so many lives just with this information. Now, what happens to the younger women? Because in the US, as I said, mammogram is after 40, right? But what happens, like so many young women are getting detected with breast cancer, be it in India or in US, it's like scenario is pretty grim. So when I thought, so they are all our proud breast cancer hub advocates, and we have a support group. So they are all there, and it's like amazing to see them speaking up, sharing the experiences. Now, what shall we do then? So when I thought about starting BCH in 2017, my first thought was I cannot fight the culture which has been imbibed. Like I cannot, though my mom is educated, she was a professor in a college, even to convince her to go for a mammogram is very difficult. And I give up at times, though my dad would be always advocating for that. So what happened was that when I felt that, and I realized that clinical breast exam, I'm going to request all the doctors to do that, but I'm going to tell the women, you go and tell your doctor you need to do clinical breast exam. And I should say I'm very proud of Magali because she has actually followed what I said. And then here, so what shall we do, right? So when I thought about it, what I felt is whatever doctors are doing here as clinical breast exam, why don't I give the proper actual protocol, actual method for breast self exam? Because this is going to cover the taboo. This is also going to cover the culture induced inertia that we should not be, even like a lot of times I hear women saying, I don't want to go to a male doctor. So everything will be covered if you can do the breast self exam very religiously. But definitely after 40, you have to go for mammogram screening or ultrasound. But for the younger women, and even after 40, every month we need to do the breast self examination. Now, another thought came to my mind that when I felt that, okay, I'll be going to the villages. Now, if I'm going to the villages, even if I take a memo bus and go to the villages, what happens is that for those women in the village, their daily wage is more important. Their 240 rupees is more important rather than even if we give them free mammogram. So this solution works like miracle. And this is a picture in Hyderabad when I went here, and you can see that the breast self exam card, all the women, and this is in, so when I first thought about BSc, I worked with an oncologist in the US. We built this protocol. The first thought was it has to be the pictures need to depict, because a lot of time in India, women are not able to read. But the next thought that came to my mind is if I'm going to villages and giving it out in English, it will be not real solution. So now, because of our breast cancer hub volunteers, we actually from scratch we translated everything, and we have in 20 languages, and two more, Punjabi and French is on the way to be published like very early next year. So, for example, here this is in Hyderabad in a slum area. The women are coming and taking the Telugu or the Urdu version. When I went to Chennai here in a Kadalur, like 4 hours from Chennai, so here they love the Tamil version. So that, but then what happens next? And I'm going to tell you how to do the breast self-examination. So this is very important. And this card, you will find it in 20 languages. And if you go to our website under education, please download the language of your choice and please circulate in your network. This is important. That is what I want to say. Please carry it forward. When you're circulating in your network, mention the importance of it. And you may, as I always tell my students, that you may not get one like, two like, or three likes also you may not get. That's okay. Don't get disappointed. You should not give up, because this picture, they're seeing it. And then if they feel something, it will register. They will come back. And that's how, like a lot of women are coming back with all the, like concerns in the breast. Now, how to do the breast self-examination. So it's not that I just remembered today and I'm going to check my breast. No, you have to, if you are at the menopause, post-menopausal, you pick a date in the month. For the men, you pick a date in the month. For the women who, the younger women, you have to do it post 7 days post your menstrual cycle. If your cycle starts today, you do the breast self-examination after 7 days from the start day of your cycle. Because, a lot of times during your period, we can have some lumps, but this dissolves, so that we can avoid the false positivity. So let's do it 7 days post-menstrual cycle. Now, how to do the examination? We have to understand the look and feel of our breast to detect any abnormality. So we take our hands behind our head. If we stand in front of the mirror and we check for any signs and symptoms, which can be swelling of the breast, a part of the breast, or, when there's a lot of redness, or pitted skin, black spots, or boils, pimples, then skin irritation or dimpling. So, the orange, the skin of the orange, how it feels like a dimpling. If you always had a dimpling breast, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But if it has suddenly become dimpling, then nipple pain or breast pain, nipple retraction, that means inverted nipple. Suddenly the nipple is turning inward. Redness, scaliness, or thickening of the nipple, or most importantly, any discharge. Apart from breast milk, it can be like bloody discharge, white discharge, transparent discharge. You cannot imagine what I see when I go to different parts of India. One woman came to me in a village and she just pressed her bed. It's like so discharge like sprayed out. Till then, she was not even knowing that this may be a sign. And when we took her to the hospital, it was detected breast cancer early. So, that's why these discharges are very critical signs and symptoms. Next, we have to take our hand behind our head, and then with our three fingers in a sitting position and sleeping position, we have to follow this arrow here. For example, we cannot, when we think of breast self-exam, we only think of the breast. That's not the case. We cannot ignore the collarbone. We cannot ignore the underarm area where we have the lymph nodes. So we start from the collarbone, we go from up to down, and with three fingers, first with the medium pressure, then with high pressure, we try to examine our breast thoroughly. So I'm just requesting 15 minutes in a month from each of you here. For men and for women from the age of 17 or 18, every month we need to do that. Now, in a sitting and sleeping position, once we do it, what do we expect, right? If we feel something like a mustard seeds, like mustard seeds or marble, painless or painful, doesn't matter. It's like slipping from a hand, hard, something like that. Do not panic. 90% cases, it will be non-cancer, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So even if we feel it, just wait for a few days, it will dissolve. If it doesn't dissolve, go to the doctor. What do you tell the doctor? Ask your doctor, can I do a mammogram? If you're young, doctor may opt for ultrasound, which is totally fine. Do an ultrasound, get the peace of your mind. If it is benign tumor, that means non-cancer, do a follow-up, check your breast every month to follow that benign tumor, because benign tumors, 5% of the cases can also become cancer. So we cannot ignore the non-cancer lumps also. So every 6 month follow-up, do the do the ultrasound, or at least every 1 year. So that is the protocol for breast self examination, which you should start from the age of 17 to 18. And this works like magic in the US, be it in India. But then what is the next step, right? For example, today I'm coming here, I'm talking to you all. So is it that I'm going to disappear after that? Then how is it going to work if someone is feeling a lump? So I'm always available. So basically, when I'm going to urban India or in, so this is the rural India. So everyone has my WhatsApp number, or at least even if they do not have the phone, they will have the organizer will have my contact. If anyone faces any issues, they reach out to me. I try to navigate them towards the hospital. Make sure if they're from the below poverty line, making sure they have the Atal Amrit Abhiyan card, so that we know that they are actually getting treatment. So that even if they do not have money, we make sure. And also we have a financial aid. We try to, our revenue is not much at all, because we do not, we are not into that so much into fundraising or anything. I just believe that people will see the work and they'll come forward and donate. But whatever we can, we try to support, and we make sure that no one is going untreated and everyone is taken care. And I always do the counseling and the follow-up. So even in the urban India also, this works like magic. So please follow this protocol. Any issues, I'm always there for you. Now, when I was doing all these outreaches in India, what happened was, you see, this is in southern Assam in India last year, and you see this small girl, 18-year-old. So after I finished my session, I actually it was really the saddest. It was so sad. I saw her crying, and when I went and asked what happened, she said in a very authoritative way, why didn't you come to my village last year? My mother just died of breast cancer, because she was not aware and she was shy to talk about it. So I told her I couldn't save her mom, but no other moms will die from the village. And there was no thought in my mind to adopt villagers, but it was everything with Breast Cancer Hub is an emotional drive. So I said, so that's how we adopted the two villages. So that is a tea garden, the tea garden labor community, Bhojpuri community, and the other is a Manipuri community, from two now. And so we collaborate. How we do it is, we collaborate with the local cancer hospital and anyone. So we go door to door. We have database for everyone. We teach them how to do the self-examination. And if they have, so they are trained field workers. And then if they have issues, we kind of take them we give the transportation, we take them to the hospital, we make sure that everything, and then we do the counseling, and basically taking end to end and taking accountability of each suspicious cases, and also for all the people in the village with the cancer screening. Now that's when I'm so glad to know, Dr. Kelso, you're a dentist by, with your profession also, like you have got so many qualifications. So because I'm going to talk about the anti-tobacco campaign that we are doing in the villages also later on. So this is how it works, and it works wonders. And now I'm going to talk about little bit about how this women, whatever I showed, right, this breast self-examination card, one side is for women, one side is for men, how these BSC cards are actually helping and saving these women. And Jessica, at the age of 25, she felt the lump in her breast. And another taboo that we have is that we cannot get married. Our life has come to an end because we have cancer. That's not true. Cancer is I say it changes, it transforms someone's life, because your purpose becomes different. And Jessica, her mom, when she discussed with me, she had her marriage date was fixed, and she was going through her chemo, and she got married. So what I want to say is that even when we are going through so much turmoil in our life, but we can follow we can get married, we can have a normal life. Of course, with the if we want to plan babies, we have to plan it. Once we finish our treatment, we have to give a gap of 2 years. We have to make sure, and then we consult the oncologist, but that is also doable. So with Jessica's case, at the age of very aggressive type of tumor she had, but with breast self-examination, she detected her tumor, and now she is a survivor. So similarly, I'm showing the stories of the younger women detected with breast self-examination. Christine, at the age of 37, she felt the lump. Now, with Christine, she is also a survivor. But another aspect that I see is that in a lot of times we do not discuss with our kids. So Christine tells me her kids, such young kids, they had this t-shirt saying a strong like mom, and they would come to Christine and they would tell her that, mom, we are so strong like you. And she would tell me that I couldn't fail in front of my kids. So that's the motivation. You need the strength to fight cancer, and your family, friends, they become the support system. She's Shravani Sharma from New Jersey, and Shravani's story is that I wanted to bring it up because her benign tumor, which is non-cancer, became cancer. So we cannot ignore the benign tumor. So please keep a check on the benign tumor. And Shravani is a proud survivor today with Breast Cancer Hub. Now, this is another story. What I feel is very prevalent in different parts of India is that a lot of time cancer is also considered as contagious. So when I went to Purnima, she is no more there with us. But when I went to see her in 2018, I saw her lying on the floor. And this woman gave her life for the kids. She was getting free cancer treatment, chemotherapy. But for her, what was important was that she goes back to the tea garden because she needed the daily wage to pay the fees for her son. So, and also she was not aware, the doctors did not tell her, the oncologist, that she has to finish the treatment. A lot of times women come to me and say that, I just did the treatment, I think I'm feeling better now, and there are so many side effects, but we really have to complete the treatment to get into the no evidence of disease stage. So when we are cured, definitely we can continue with no treatment or anything. So with Purnima's case, when I went to see her, she was lying on the floor. When I asked the family, why is she like lying on this floor like that? And the family said cancer is contagious. So just imagine, a woman a mother who gave up her life for her family. Now the family, because just a little bit of thing, because if she was aware that cancer, the family knew. So I explained the family, and I took, at least put her to the bed, gave her blankets, and I couldn't save her. But when I made her kids hug her, the smile that she gave me, I can never forget that smile. That's my reward. That satisfaction now that she's going to die in the arms of her family. Now, when I tell this story, a lot of times in many advanced, like urban India, women come to me and say, "You are talking about rural India. I am a breast cancer patient, and you cannot imagine the isolation I face from my friends." Don't do that, please. I'm requesting. These things break my heart because it's so difficult. A woman is going through emotionally, psychologically, and we forget that. We lot of times people tell me that, no, I don't want to ask her how she's doing. She will feel bad. She will never feel bad. She wants the embrace. That is the most important thing. One woman with lip cancer, she came to me and said, I am a 5-year lip cancer survivor. Dr. Roy, people, when I go to someone's house, I can see that they are hesitant to give me a glass of milk or, a glass of water or a cup of tea because that cup is going to touch my lip. So cancer is not contagious. We have to break that statement, and that's why one of the hashtags that I have now is I mentioned it that cancer is not contagious. And I would say, like, one of the ambassadors, she told me, like, can we put it as a hashtag? I said, of course we are going to put it as a hashtag. So please, I'm requesting that when you hear someone going through cancer, just go and give them a hug. Of course, not during the COVID, but after the COVID is over, that is what we need. We need the acceptance in the community, because cancer, I would say, other diseases, like with the kidney disease, with the heart, like my dad passed away from high blood pressure, then sugar, with all this stress, and with the chronic kidney disease, and he was still working till the end. But what I'm saying is, no, it was not curable, but cancer is curable. And when we have other disease, we are so vocally talking about it. Then why don't we talk about when someone we are going through cancer in the family? So we need to step up for everyone. Now, here, this slide, I'm not going to go scientific, but I want to say that 5 to 10% of all cancers are inherited. So if in a family a type of cancer runs, for example, if we have ovarian cancer, stomach cancer running in the family, this now from this slide onwards, I'm going to, so all this time I talked about early detection, about the different aspects, the psychological, about the support system, about how we can screen ourselves early and save lives. from now, this slide onwards, I'm going to talk about the preventative measures of cancer. And for it kind of compiles with all type of cancer. So if we have with breast cancer, if we have ovarian cancer, or like breast cancer running in the family, I would say that if you can afford financially, then please do the genetic testing of BRCA1 BRCA2 mutation. So once we have, if we see that we have this mutation, then the precaution that, like for example, if you're having the breast cancer, the precaution could be you have a chance for ovarian cancer also. So you become very proactive about it. Or else, a lot of times, for example, if someone, like for example, if in a family it runs, they'll do the blood test, they know they have BRCA1, BRCA2. A lot of women I have seen, for example, Angelina Jolie, who is the Hollywood star, she did the mastectomy and she took the preventative measure. So other cases, I would say you just have to do the mammogram from the age of 30, 25, because you are more prone to breast cancer or ovarian cancer. Do the ultrasound of the ovary very regularly. So those are the ways we can be very proactive. Now, we cannot forget the men of the family, because when it runs in the family with breast cancer, we are also always thinking of the women, but the men also can inherit the BRCA mutation. If the man inherits the BRCA2 mutation, they are not only prone to breast cancer, but they may also have prostate cancer, digestive tract cancer, and other types of cancers. So please do not ignore the men. If you know that it's running in someone's family, the men need to be equally active, and not only breast, but the prostate cancer also, because that's another very common type of cancer in the men. So, what are the other risk factors for the men breast cancer? So, of course, the genetic panel is important, family history is important, but the other cases can be radiation exposure, the work environment. A lot of time in US, I met men working at the atomic centers, where they have a lot of cases, they have breast cancer. The other conditions can be liver diseases, hormonal treatment, or if someone is already having prostate cancer, they're going through a lot of hormonal treatment, they eventually also get prone to breast cancer. Obesity, weight is very important. So, it's always important to keep a healthy weight. The other testicular conditions, and then gynecomastia. Some men, they can have a little bit more breast issues, so they need to be very careful and they should do the breast self exam every month. So for men also, whatever method I told for the women, exactly the same method goes for the men with the breast self examination. If they feel a lump, they need to do the mammogram. And then once, if you so what is the next step? If you have the lump, then the doctors will take the tissues, which we call biopsy, and check if it is cancer or non-cancer. Now, for the women, I have already mentioned, if it runs in the family, and it's not only the high penetrance BRCA1, BRCA2 mutation, there can be other different genes also. So a lot of time, because my PhD is on genetics, so basically a lot of time women, they will send me, like reports with the genetic, genetic panel report, and they will say, no, I do not have the BRCA mutation. But I would always say that you are having the other type of mutations, so they can also be the drivers for breast cancer or other type of cancer in the body. So that is why it's very important. Now, coming to this slide, which is like, what are the key risk factors? The key risk factors, the first thing I would definitely is the family history, the genetics, as I said, as I mentioned to you. Next, most importantly, with the tobacco, smoking. We can never, so smoking is not only about like lung cancer, but what a lot of times men or women tell me, oh, I have been smoking all my life very proudly, but I never had lung cancer. So it's not about lung. Even a lot of time lung cancer patients, they do not smoke, they still get lung cancer. For example, I went to Bangalore last year. One man came and said, my mom has lung cancer stage 4. Even yesterday I was counseling someone from Chennai with her mom with lung cancer stage 4. So, and they are all metastatic, and so they never smoked, but it was actually, there are other reasons can be there. So when I did deeper with the woman in Bangalore, she was working in a factory where she was inhaling the smoke all the time, which was a carcinogen. So carcinogen means that the agents that are causing cancer. So that is important for us to always know the environment. So the lifestyle plus the environment we live in. We have to be very careful, like what water we are drinking, if it has arsenic in the water or other, different contaminants, or else like the environment we are working, the radiation exposed environment, or if we are inhaling a lot of smoke. Because here, for example, in US, a lot of firefighters, they're inhaling smoke all the time. They're prone to different type of cancer and also very predominantly lung cancer. Now, coming back to breast cancer, smoking can also increase the risk for breast cancer. So please do not smoke. Alcohol. Alcohol is not only about breast cancer, all type of cancer. So whatever I'm saying is about all type of cancer. I'm not saying that alcohol causes cancer. What I'm trying to say is that alcohol causes underlying inflammation in the body, in the stomach, in the intestinal area, or throughout the body, which also alcohol is seen to increase the risk for breast cancer. Now, what is this inflammation I'm talking about? So, my work on, so as Dr. Kelso said, I have been working with cancer research. So, I was a professor at University of North Carolina in Charlotte, and one of my work, which was like I discovered the link between the molecular link, the signaling pathway between breast cancer metastasis and arthritis. And we all are familiar with the term arthritis, which is the inflammation of the joints, the bones, and everywhere. So this particular work got press release in American Association of Cancer Research in 2012. That's why I always try to bring it up, because after this discovery, many oncologists now they're trying to focus on inflammation. So what is inflammation, right? So when, for example, if we have any injury in the body, the inflammation, the inflammatory cells will go and repair the damage, and we need the inflammatory cells in the body. But if inflammation goes out of control, then it also leads to the progression and triggering of any type of cancer. So, how do we curtail the inflammation? For example, if we have arthritis, what we discovered was when we have arthritis, there's huge inflammation in the bones, in the lungs, in the full body, in the different, in the circulation. So then breast cancer cells will travel to the distant organs, to the bones faster. So then with this reporting, in when I was presenting this data in Chicago in 2012 at the conference, so many breast cancer patients came and told me that now they understood that why their friends who were detected at the same stage, but they had arthritis and we lost them. Because when we have cancer, we always try to neglect or ignore the other predominant disease that was already existing, because cancer takes the upper hand. So we always have to be very careful, because everything is kind of feeding each other. So it's important that even if we have diabetes, obesity, which is weight gain, obesity also leads to underlying inflammation in the body. So everything is interlinked. Alcohol leads to underlying inflammation. So basically, inflammation is a very important factor in the body, which internally, endogenously, is making a lot of effect. The other factors, most importantly, of course, like radiation, UV, I have said, but one important thing I want to mention is the hormone treatment. Hormone replacement therapy after the menopause. A lot of women take the HRT therapy, and a lot of younger women are also into the contraceptive pills. So please, like I would request that do not exit with the like the duration, because it is being seen over the years when we are into all these hormone treatments, it may also increase the risk of breast cancer. So that is one important thing I wanted to bring it up. The other important thing is definitely the stress. Stress is a master regulator for all type of diseases, and also it is seen to upregulate many oncogenic signaling pathways. Now, I'm not saying that stress is causing cancer. Everything is a multidisciplinary, but stress is a contributor. So what happens is that stress, and I totally get it, because that is what I feel that with the younger generation now, cancer is increasing so much, because women are, with breast cancer, we are coming out of the house, we're trying to run around, with work, with stress, with this, stress with that, stress with managing the family, having small kids, going to work. So everything kind of builds up. So, but it's always important, how do we release the stress? Do what you like for some time at least. I'm not saying that, for example, spend time with the family, like, if you love to dance with, that can be a form of an exercise too. So exercise is a stress reliever. I'm not saying that run on the treadmill or run outside in the COVID, but you can do yoga. We can do meditation to release the stress. We can do yoga, which is a very good form of exercise. But make sure that there is some sweating, because sweating is needed, because you need the circulation in your body to be up. Because exercise helps to boost the immune system. It helps to fight. It releases endomorphins, which are different hormones in the body, which really helps the body with fighting cancer and fighting other type of diseases too. So basically, it's a multidisciplinary. We have to really understand what we are eating, and I'm going to emphasize on the diet, and I'm going to talk about what kind of diet is going to help. But basically, healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, healthy environment we are living in, and then like any chronic diseases if we are having, we have to keep that confined. These are the different ways how we can really prevent and help with the preventative measures. But there are a lot of women who tell me, and even the dense breast, what I said, right now, a lot of research is going on showing that with dense breast, women with dense breast, we have a higher chances of having breast cancer. So that's why we really have to be very proactive on it. So these are the different ways we can really help with the prevent, or at least even when if we are a survivor, we have to maintain this lifestyle so that we keep a check on the progression of cancer too. Now, one important thing I want to say, some women who will do everything correct, but still we may get it. So there is a bucket which is kind of like unknown. So but still we are trying, but whatever is in our hands, we have to at least do that for helping, because it's not about us, it's about our family, right? Because we contribute to our family and we have to take care of our health also for that. Now, how diet helps with inflammation, diet helps with the cancer scenario, how to prevent cancer through the healthy diet. Now, I want to tell one thing to all of us here is that at this moment, when you're sitting here and listening to me, at this moment also, inside our body, which is the DNA, the cell, which is the unit of life, and DNA which may be damaged in the cell, the damage may be going on even right now. But there are repair system in our body which is helping and modifying the damage so that this damage is not causing cancer. So, as I said, exercise, lifestyle is a contributor. In the same way, giving the body healthy diet is equally important, because there are free radicals generated in the body which is going and damaging the DNA of the cell which is causing cancer. So free radicals are constantly formed in the body, and this could really harm the body. But who helps to clean up the free radical? Those are the antioxidants. The reason why I'm going a little bit into, my awareness sessions are a little bit scientifically driven, because until and unless we convince people, it will so because if you are going and telling the small kids, right, okay, don't eat chips, don't eat this, but my small kids who are my scientists in the USA, I mentored them, even they go and tell their parents, mom and dad, let's not buy the burger or the fries because their antioxidants will be less in our body, free radicals are going to damage the body. They are getting aware, and that's my focus, through the students, to pass on the information. So what happens, because I feel very sad when I come to India. I see in the mall the fast food is growing like anything, fried food and all of that. So all this help in releasing these free radicals. And who stabilizes them? Antioxidant. But our body generates the antioxidant, but that's not enough, because antioxidant will contribute an electron to the unpaired electron in the free radical, and then this free radical will be stabilized so that it no longer causes harm to cells. All right. So, but then our body gets exhausted. So we have to give good food which are rich in antioxidant. And our Indian spices are so amazing. So why don't we make the spices at home instead of having from the market? And the other one big important thing is the curcumin in turmeric, which is the haldi. But I'm not saying that turmeric will cure cancer. Then none of us would have had cancer, because we are having turmeric every day in our diet. But what I'm saying is get the fresh roots of turmeric from the market, because turmeric has got curcumin, and if you combine it with the black pepper, it enhances the curcumin absorption, which is rich in antioxidant. The next important thing is freshness, like fresh ginger, fresh garlic, fresh onion. They are rich in antioxidant and with therapeutic properties. Now, a lot of time I see people buying ginger garlic paste from the market. Don't do that. Use the fresh ones, because everyday diet adds up to our, like all these different things that's happening inside our body. fresh fruits and berries, vegetables, nuts, fatty fish, which is rich in omega-3 fatty acid. I try to tell everyone like to avoid, like the processed food, like salami or beef, meat. I mean, I'm not saying that to stop it. Of course, if you're having it in your diet, you can have it. But what I'm requesting is minimizing the intake of meat in your diet, because in a lot of times these things are, because in US now people are trying to be more vegan, more vegetarian. But then in India, I mean, I'm a non-veg lover. I love fish. I cannot stay without fish. But what I'm saying is fish is very good, and even I love chicken also. But then I'm trying to minimize it. Like once in a week is fine. So what I'm saying is that whenever we are having the diet, let's keep a balance. Let's have a lot of vegetables also in the diet, fruits in the diet. Then like capsaicin, the red pepper. So which is like rich in the chili peppers are rich in capsaicin, which are strong anti-inflammatory agent. But I'm not saying that have so much of chili pepper that you have the gastric problem, but keep a balance of it. And when you are adding chili powder to the diet, I make my fresh chili powder at home, so you can use in that way, which that is 100% authentic. So what food to avoid? Sugar. Now, lot of time, lot of research is going on saying that it's a contradictory results, that sugar can cause cancer, sugar may not cause cancer. But whatever it is, the processed sugar, it causes underlying inflammation, and also it leads to obesity, the weight gain, which is again a factor, contributing factor to the cancer development. So it's always better to reduce the intake of sugar products like desserts, pastries, chocolate bars, fruit juices. If you want to have fruit juice, get the fresh fruit, make your own juice without adding any sugar, because fruits have their own sugar. Saturated fats we need to really avoid, because all these trigger inflammation. Trans fat, the fried foods, processed snack foods, cookies, refined carbohydrates, the white carbohydrates, they lead to the high glycemic food index, which again stimulates inflammation. So what I'm trying to say is everything is interlinked. So basically, all these are finally contributing to the inflammatory factors. So taking care, and if someone is having cancer, if we are free of cancer, also is important to reduce the recurrence. We have to take care of ourselves physically and emotionally, manage the stress, do yoga, meditation, moderate exercise as recommended, then limit the alcohol. Smoking is totally no. It doesn't matter one cigarette or two cigarettes or full packet of cigarette. A lot of time, a lot of people, even my husband would be, when he used to smoke, he would be like, I'm having only one cigarette. It's not about that. It's the nicotine that you're putting in your body. So, the quit smoking, which is very important, lead a healthy life, healthy lifestyle, diet, which will really help to even reduce the recurrence of the any type of diseases. It's not only about cancer, it's many type of diseases. So that's how, like now I'm going to just that was all about how we could screen the cancer and also prevent breast cancer and other type of cancers. And here I just want to show you that how that we have a strong WhatsApp support group, which is a very private WhatsApp group, and how our everyone is globally from different part, and we also have women from Goa also in our support group. And that's basically, they are the real supporters and the heroes, because the experiences they share. So, from their experiences also, I can say that they have been advocating for healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, which are really important. So it's important that we really, abide to these things to help with the preventing cancer, because 30 to 50% cancers can be prevented if we, and most importantly, number one in the list is tobacco, any form of tobacco. And that's where I just want to give you a brief about few different type of cancer. What are the early signs and symptoms before I wrap up, and I just have three more slides. And but with breast cancer hub, as I said, I started with breast cancer hub because that's why the organization name is that. But eventually, in these 3 years, what I realized is a lot of women patients are reaching out with different type of cancer to me. And every wing now we have is an emotional drive. So that's how we are trying to build different early detection cards, because most of the time from India or US also with stomach cancer is mostly like detected late, with lung cancer, cervical cancer. So it's important that we help detect early through different early detection life-saving cards. Now, here I'm very happy to know, as I said, like we developed, just to let you all know, we developed this self oral cancer screening card with the help of an oncologist and who is a specialist, Dr. Emmanuel Azaria from Chennai. And we now what we do now, so what happened was that when we were going to the villages, right, every household in Northeast India, they have tobacco like in the form of like betel nut, chewing tobacco. They'll put it in the mouth all the time. So it's not only about the mouth, it's the liquor is going all through the body. It can cause cancer in any part of the body. And many times in Northeast India, because of this chewing, and I don't know the situation in Goa, but oral cancer is at its peak and most of the time detected late. So that's why what I felt that, okay, I can't tell them to go for the oral hygiene screening. A lot of times, tobacco, I'm telling, like in the villages we adopted, we are doing this tobacco campaign, is working. But still, so many women and men, they will have the lesion, they will not even know. So now we are teaching them how to do the oral self screening. And they are reaching out. So the moment they feel a lesion, they will call us, they will call our project coordinator, and then we will help them to be detected early. So we have this self oral cancer screening card. Please download them because it's really working wonders in all the villages we adopted and also in all the urban sectors. You can just help to detect your own any lesion for more than 14 days. Please connect to the doctor. The other three cars we published recently is colorectal cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, cervical cancer, and other cancers are on the way. Now, the reason was that these are the most important cancers that every time I'm facing and mostly detected late, just ignoring the signs and symptoms. Because with colorectal cancer, the colon cancer, if you're having persistent bleeding for a long time, in the blood, in the stool, then also like bloating, cramps. A lot of times the symptoms will be there. We ignore them or we think it is piles or hemorrhoids and we try to totally ignore. And by the time we go to the doctor, it is kind of like stage 3 or stage 4. So it's important that we recognize the signs and symptoms. Even with lung cancer, a lot of time there'll be constant wheezing, coughing, then unexplained weight loss. Unexplained weight loss is a common sign and symptom for all type of cancer. Then the hemoglobin going down. So it's important that we do a physical checkup once a year with our blood work also. So that once we do the blood work, if any parameters is not falling in place, this also gives us an indication. Now, I'm not going into the details of this because our session is focused on breast, but I'm saying that these cards are available on our website. Please download it and circulate in our network because with stomach cancer, only 1 in 5 cases of stomach cancer is detected early in the US. So you can imagine the situation in the other places. A lot of time there's acidity, acid reflux, and I've seen us going to the store, local store, and just getting any antacid and engulfing it. So please go and do an endoscopy. Check. So what I'm trying to say is any symptom, any persistent symptom, do not ignore. Go to the doctor and at least do an X-ray or ultrasound or endoscopy, whatever the type of problem you're having. Based on that, whatever the diagnosis is available, we need to do that. So saying that, this is my second last slide. So basically what I'm trying to say is we are here with this mission of early detection and prevention, cancer screening camps. We are doing awareness community outreaches, started with as I said, now 8 villages we adopted. From 2, now we are 8, and next year we are doing in Karnataka, we are adopting 2 more villages. And also just recently I got to know from in Upper Assam, another village we're adopting. If you want us to me to come to Goa, I'm more than happy to do that. But village adoption is a big project where we will have to. So, but I really, what I'm saying is that population outreach is the most important thing. People will not come to us. We have to go to the people to make them aware. And that is really working because now people are getting aware. I'm so proud of all the villages we have adopted. Now, each woman, if some other woman is having a problem, they will advocate for that. They will tell you need to immediately go. They take the responsibility, and I cannot be more prouder of that. Now we are doing a lot of treatment aid, research, counseling. We have a strong support group, and our leaders are our ambassadors. They are the community leaders who are spreading the word. So basically, we are a global family, and that's why I'm here. And our main motto is also serving everyone with equality. So saying that I cannot do this alone. So everyone, we all need to come together because each of us here, we have the capacity to save someone else's life just through sharing the materials, speaking about it, breaking the breast taboo, breaking the cancer taboo. So thank you so much, all of you here, and my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Kelso Fernandez, Navemarg Foundation, and learning about the amazing work you are doing, because financial security is so important. If you ask me even today, because as I said, now I'm totally dependent on my husband, but even when I was having the salary every month from the university, what I'm saying is that I had no idea about the financial security. I didn't even know. So I wish I knew at that time, because I was a total full scientist who was always like working on cancer research, mentoring students. But this is so important, and you are doing such an amazing, incredible work, Dr. Kelso. I can't even tell you. It's so important to make the youngsters responsible from at such young age. I wish I had this learning earlier, but I'm also so grateful to Magali, and thank you, Magali, your mom. Thanks to your mom also for supporting the cause and supporting Breast Cancer Hub. And a big thank you to each of you here who is attending the session, because you attending the session means you are supporting the cause of cancer and helping to spread the word. Thank you very much. But I won't get to know the questions from them until I Dr. Ken. So let me know the questions. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I could see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. No, no. No, thank. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, and then unfortunately, Magali just messaged me at 8:35 when I was in the session that she didn't receive the link itself, so she did not know. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I will let her know. Anyways, the video is there, so she can watch it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's keep in touch. I would love to come to Goa so that we can do something very concrete on this. Yeah, no, I'll come for this only because because so that we can really, because I think the village adoption is really helping, because I can see the difference when we are going every house and teaching them. So it's really important. All right. Thank you so much. My honor to be here. So I'll take a leave then. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Good night. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Take care. Take care, everyone. Bye.